Welcome to the neighborhood, Hapi Hood the podcast, where we deliver meaningful content to grow your faith, well-being, and leadership skills. Hey neighbor, I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray, lifestyle coach, inspiring others to develop self-worth through leadership applications that will enable them to live in purpose. Hapi Hood the podcast.
Finish
Message.
what you started.
Welcome back to the neighborhood family. Welcome back to another edition of Hapi Hood the podcast. I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray, and today's guest is the CEO and founder of Evans Efficiency Experts. They utilize proven methodologies to help people, organizations solve complex problems, implement lasting changes, and increase efficiency in their lives. They have a passion for helping organizations, entrepreneurs, individuals function in the space of productivity. I mean, who doesn't need more productivity and efficiency? Please welcome to the neighborhood, Dr. Paulette Evans. How you doing, Dr. Evans?
Hello, everyone. I am doing fabulous. Happy Friday Eve. Happy
Yes.
March. It's my birth month, so I love March.
Oh,
I always
okay.
love it.
There you go.
Doing really well.
Feeling well, feeling good. That is good.
Yeah.
I bet you feeling very productive, huh?
I'm always feeling productive.
We're great. Well, I as I was kind of talking with you, and we're just kind of discussing the topic of the podcast and just knowing what you do and which family. I didn't really even get into some other accolades that Dr. Evans have. I mean, from Six Sigma to project manager, process efficiency, process certifications in process improvement, over 20 some years in corporate America, 20 plus years in leadership. So we are truly talking with the expert that have not only have experienced it, but definitely lives it and truly helps other clients live it as well as we think about productivity and efficiency. So I guess if we start there, tell us a little bit about Evans Efficiency Expert. We talked about a little bit about what you focus on, but tell us a little bit more about the business.
Yeah, so I am celebrating my 1-year anniversary officially of being in business for myself. Thank you. For 20 years, and I was across many industries, specifically manufacturing and healthcare, I focused on improving the company, improving the people in the company, making the customer experience better, showing them how to be more productive and do things in a better way. So when my final position turned out to be a contract position, I said, you know what? I think I need to focus on this for myself. I told myself at 17, I said I wanted to own my own business. I was valedictorian of my high school, and they did an article in the local paper, and they said, what's your dream job? And I said, I want to have my own business. I want to be my own boss.
There you go.
So I was like, my 17-year-old self will be so happy if I do this. And I just need to do it. I know I need to do it. She knew then, she's pretty awesome back then too. But I just need to make it happen. And so that's what I focused on for the last year. And the reason we have so many different types of clients, this is organizations, corporations, nonprofits, solopreneurs, is because our methodology doesn't change. We look at your processes all day, what you do, what you don't do, what you don't accomplish. We kind of shadow you for a while, figure out what you actually do, standard operating procedures, processes, everything. We pull it apart and get all the gaps, the waste, the inefficiencies. And then we show you new processes and new ways to do things. And then we help you sustain those new behaviors. So our methodology is the same with every client, no matter who they are, no matter who you represent or who you're part of. That's what we do. And so, again, my whole mantra is that I literally accomplish something every day. I am effective and efficient and productive every day. And it is no other feeling like it. It is an amazing feeling. And I want other people to have that same feeling.
Yeah, that feels like an affirmation. I'm effective and efficient every day.
Every day. Yes.
Every day. You are truly talking my language, because my 9 to 5, my title is a process improvement analyst. So we work with internal clients, other subdivisions within the entire org, our enterprise, and we work on, process improvement. We work on lean methodology, agile, and human-centered design. So if you are definitely, as I think about a family, if those interests very spark you,
Mhm.
then this is truly going to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
I think first, just for context,
Yes.
I think it'd be great. Like, how do you define productivity and efficiency?
Yeah.
We started there. Like,
We
how would
start
we
simple.
define that?
Yeah. For me, because I'm a list person, my definition is checking things off my list. That's
Mm,
it. That's like real simple definition. I'm not going to pull a Merriam-Webster kind of definition because
yeah,
we don't need to do all that. We don't need to
yeah.
complicate things. I tell my husband all the time, say if you can say something 20 words or 5 words, say the same thing. There's no
Mm,
point in using the extra words.
yeah,
Productivity is checking things off your list. That to-do
yeah,
list that keeps growing for all of us because we're adults and we always have something going on. There's always something to add to that list. You checking things off that list, that's productivity. That's
yeah.
effectiveness. That's efficiency.
Yeah, totally. I think one of the biggest things when we think about productivity and efficiency is, I like how you put it, like very simple,
Mhm.
where again, let's take the very complex things and simplify it,
Yeah.
because I think there is some myths that you have to debunk when it comes to
Mhm.
productivity, and
Exactly.
efficiency. Because
Yeah.
many times, I would say there's pretty much things you may have normalized, you know,
Mhm.
and you have to really allow others to kind of look at it from a different perspective, right? And there's certain things that you pretty much just like, it seems hard
Yeah.
because we have
Yeah.
put it in a very complex way,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
But if we
Yeah.
simplify, it's like, hey, what's your to-do list? You know,
Exactly.
check it
That's
off,
it.
check it
Checking
off,
things
check it
off.
off. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
And people
really, really,
complicate.
really.
Yeah. People
Say that
always
again.
complicate things. People complicate things to a level that is insane to me. I'm like,
Yeah,
why are
exactly,
you doing this? Yeah. And even for
exactly.
you, for your definition, your simple definition is even what your shirt says. Finish what you start.
Yes,
I finished what I
yes,
started. That's
hmm,
productivity. Real simple.
yes. Real simple. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So when you think about the chaos,
Mhm.
and when you think about, like, far as individuals, and especially in the times that we're living in now, where many of us are looking to combat or minimize our burnout or our fatigue. And many
Yeah.
times, it's because either the lack of processes, the lack of systems
Mhm.
that we have, right? And the
Yep.
waste that we continue to do. So when you think about far as chaos, and as I mentioned, many times because we have normalized it, we can't
Yes.
see it.
No.
So talk to us a little bit about when you are working with clients, or even in your past experience,
Mhm.
like when you think about chaos, what are some of the chaos that we should be starting to be aware of, or start
Yeah.
to look at, within our own business or
Yeah. The
personal
first
life?
thing, first question, and first thing I look for is why are you doing what you're doing?
Mm,
Like, especially if it's something you really hate. Like, it is the bane of your existence. You dread it every day. So then my question is, why are you doing it then? And
mhm.
if it doesn't sit on life or death, then I don't know
Yeah,
why you would continue doing something that makes you miserable. My
yeah,
big thing for clients is you don't do anything unless it gives you a positive ROI. And that's my mantra. I don't say
mhm,
yes to anything unless it gives me a positive ROI. And ROI is
mhm,
money for sure, but it's
mhm,
also happiness, peace, joy, sanity,
mhm.
restful nights. When
Yeah,
don't when things check off that, then I say yes. If it does not give me any positive ROI, the answer is no. I don't care who's asking.
mm,
I don't care what it's for. I don't care what the question is, because
mhm,
you can't make yourself insane. I mean, you
mhm.
can't live that sustainably. It's not
Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
You say yes to everybody to please everybody, but you're miserable. How is that
mm,
healthy?
yeah,
And it
yeah,
really is up to you to control and manage your sanity. It really is.
mm,
If you get no positive ROI, you get no satisfaction, no fulfillment, it makes you miserable. Why would you keep doing anything that puts you in that space? Why?
wow, yeah,
So again, if you're
yeah,
gaining nothing and losing everything, then you need to cut off whatever that is you're doing. Stop it
mhm,
immediately. Again, if you lose people, that's fine. There's always other people. We have plenty of
mhm,
people on this planet. So
mhm.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Lose a couple. You'll find some
mhm,
more that are really supposed to be in your space.
yeah,
But that's
yeah,
the big thing. Your chaos comes from you allowing other people to control you and your time and your sanity.
mhm,
That's where chaos
mhm.
comes from.
Yeah, yeah. You made me think. about moments, because I've been doing this now, this being Happy Hood, for
Mhm.
over two years. And you may have seen this in working with clients, or even yourself, of, and again, the chaos, right? Starting with yourself and starting with the why.
Mhm.
I think one thing that was the biggest investment for me this past year was getting a coach to help me to remove my emotions from
Mm.
the business.
Mhm.
Because I think when you think about like the heart of being productive, being efficient, understanding again what is giving you the returns that
Yeah.
you're looking for, right? Many times we continue to do this knowing that it's not gaining us nothing,
No.
and we're losing a lot of
Mhm.
sleep, we're losing
Yeah.
peace, because we
Mhm.
have become so emotionally attached to the process,
Yeah.
especially I have seen it so much. Well, this is how we always did it.
Yes. That's always the
your favorite,
response.
your
As
favorite,
soon as
right?
I hear that, I'm like, nope, we're about to tear this whole thing down to the studs.
Exactly. So
This is over.
when you encounter, especially for those that you're coaching, or if again, to our entrepreneurs that's out there,
Mhm.
how do you release the emotion from the business to really
Yeah.
look at it very objectively?
Yeah. And that's something that I think is taught, and I have to coach some people through that. I
Hmm.
am, my background is engineering, so I am very black and white. I don't have a lot of emotion about a lot of stuff. So it's easy for me, but
Hmm.
I do encounter people who are very emotionally attached to things and to people and to
Yeah.
businesses and to everything. And it really does come down to brass tacks. This is your money we're talking about. Like
Yeah.
money is green, folks. That's it. There is no gray in the money.
Hmm.
So your feelings, you got to check them. You got to put them aside, because if this is your livelihood, this is your health, this is your life, this is your business,
Yeah.
you can't get caught up in letting emotions drive you and run your processes, run your decisions, or anything like that, because it's not going
Hmm.
to end well. So
Hmm.
again, if you love yourself, you love your business, you love everything you do, but no one can get ahead by letting emotions run them all the time.
Yeah.
It's not possible. So again, when it comes to the
Yeah.
business of it though, that money is green. There is no gray.
Hmm.
So pull the emotions, make sound decisions so you can be about your business and make
Yeah.
that money.
And make that money, because that's the
Yeah,
objective, right?
exactly.
That's the objective.
Exactly.
And that was something that I had to really come to understanding,
Mhm.
because as an entrepreneur, I feel like especially many entrepreneurs may go through this, and that is the moment where you start to understand that this is no longer a hobby, and
Mhm.
this is something that you're looking to monetize, you know
Yes.
because hobby, okay, yeah, you wear
Mhm.
your emotions on your sleeve,
Exactly. Exactly.
it's to feel good. But if you're looking to monetize this, then you're going to have to look at it from a different perspective.
Exactly.
From
Exactly.
a
And that doesn't mean you can't, because when I still had my corporate job, I was still doing my consulting. I had this business. I was still in corporate, so I had my
Mhm,
corporate paycheck, so I could give and do a lot of donating of my services. But when it
mhm,
became my sole form of income, the donating
mhm,
had to stop. So again, that's like you switch that lens real quick. I mean, because
mhm,
it is exactly when it's yours, it is exactly what you make it.
yeah,
And if you're in it to be a nonprofit, then sign up and be a nonprofit. If money
yeah,
isn't what you care about, then make yourself a nonprofit so you have all the funds and help from the government to make sure you can survive every day and live. And
mhm,
there is no shame in that, because I love many nonprofits.
yeah,
However, if you're going to be a for-profit business, you have to think about it from a business standpoint, and the
mhm,
emotions will not help you. You have to
yeah,
be really, really strategic. You have to be black and white. You have to make decisions that make sense for your business, not for
mhm,
somebody else's feelings, not for your mom's hopes and dreams, none of that stuff. Make
yeah,
decisions that make sense for your business and your livelihood, because there's
mhm,
nobody else accountable for you but you
exactly,
at the end of the day.
exactly, exactly. What do you say to, and again, I know within your business, again, we're talking to Dr. Evans, founder of Evans Efficiency Experts. You also not only focus on business and entrepreneurs, but also individuals, you know,
Mhm.
And even I'm gonna kind of put that to the side because I definitely want to
Yeah.
come back to what does that look like from an individual lens, you know.
Mhm.
But if you can for us, and again, I think I'm a very conceptual thinker.
Yeah.
So it's helped me to understand context and the
Mhm.
content. When we're talking about productivity and efficiency,
Mhm.
are they the same? Or how are we separating or differentiating between those two things?
Gotcha.
Because
Yeah.
can you be productive and efficient at the same time? Or is it one of the same? Does
So
that make sense?
it does. It does. To me, too, they're two different things. Again,
Okay.
for me, productivity is more of that checking off the list.
Okay.
Efficiency is being able to check off that list in a quicker manner.
Mm,
Like the way you're getting things done is efficient, so you can get 5 things done today as opposed to 2.
yeah.
So again, productivity is just getting stuff done. And I mean, that can be a list of 5 that takes you 5 days to complete. And if that's your timeline, that's fine. If you
Mm-hmm.
have that kind of time in your world, that's also fine.
Mm-hmm.
Paulette doesn't have that kind of time. I need to get like 5 things done a day. So I'm not going to take 5 days to do 5 things. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, my efficiency comes in because I can get all 5 things done in that one day and then have a new
Mm-hmm.
list for the next day. So
New
that's
list for the
efficiency.
next.
Efficiency is how quickly you can get things done, how
Mm-hmm.
streamlined you can get things done. So you're not wasting time. You're checking even more things off that list.
Yeah. Yeah. And productivity is you completing the list. Is
Yes,
that?
that's completing an item on the list. That's you being
Mm-hmm.
productive. That's you getting things done. That's you finishing what you start, like your shirt says. That's
Mm-hmm.
productivity. Again, if
Mm-hmm.
it's for you, if it's getting one thing done a day is enough, then again, you're productive. Not as efficient as I am or I would
Mm-hmm.
be, but you're still productive. And then I
Totally.
do allow people to be in their own pace. But as a client, the first thing you have to give me is a realistic timeline. I need to know what we're working with because that's going
Mm-hmm.
to guide how I help you and how I push you. Because if you only have a month to get 30 things done, you can't do one thing a day because you're going to need some off days to recharge, refresh, and take a break. So I'm going to plan it so that you get more than one thing done a day because you only have 30 days. Now, if you have 6 months to do 30 things, then we can space things out, one thing a week or two. I mean, like whatever. But
Yeah.
that's one big thing I have to know up front is what kind of time are we working with and what are you trying to accomplish? And then that helps me plan for my work with you.
Plan for your work for you. When you
Mhm.
think about this, going back to the first question or the other previous question
Mhm.
around individual being
Yeah.
productive as an individual,
Mhm.
what are the certain things that you look for, or maybe just best practices? Maybe that start
Yeah.
there. How can I be a more productive and efficient individual within my life?
Yeah. So again, the first thing is what you decide to sign up for. So that goes back to that. Make sure you have positive ROI. So say yes to the things that make sense to say yes to. For
Mm-hmm.
me, on Sunday, I plan my whole week. Like I sit down, I have a chunk of time on Sunday evening where I look at my calendar. I know where I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
be. I know where I have to be. I know what's optional. I know what I can probably do virtual or hybrid versus going someplace physically. I try to get all that in my face. Like I need to stare at it so I can plan and strategize on how the
Yeah.
week's going to go. Because again, I'm going to maximize my time. If I'm leaving the house for 2 meetings, I'm going to probably add 2 more things in there, like whether it's to stop at the grocery store to get gas, whatever it is. So I don't need to leave the house the next day. If I have stuff going
Mm-hmm.
all day on Tuesday, I don't need to stop to go get gas when I left the house Monday and passed 20,000 gas stations. Why didn't I stop and get gas then? Like, I mean, I'm not a person that leaves my house every day because to me, that's a waste of time. That's
Mm-hmm.
waste. So I
Yeah.
do stack things. But again, it's that looking at that calendar, put everything in your calendar that you need to do.
Yeah.
That's another thing. For me, if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. It has to be in my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So I do stare at that calendar on Sunday evening and I strategize my whole week so I can maximize my time. And then I also block off those me time moments where, again, I need to just take a break and watch TV, binge Netflix, just kind of chill out and relax. And
Mm-hmm.
those are usually 4-hour blocks. And that's usually on a Thursday afternoon or Friday morning where I just don't do anything. That time is blocked. So if someone's trying to meet with me through Doodle, it's blocked in Doodle because it's blocked on my calendar. It feeds it
Mm-hmm.
automatically. So no one's coming into that space. Hubby knows you have a question. Please wait until me time is over, unless something's burning down. I mean, otherwise it'll be okay. Just give me my moment.
Wow.
Give me my
Dr.
moment.
Evans, you are just like, I
Yeah,
mean, like,
oh, it's real.
that's
I can't even help it. can't help it. But I mean, it's that thing where, and I tell my clients this too, you need to voice what you need. No, I can't.
Voice
And
what you need.
yeah,
Wow.
I am amazing at a lot of things, but I cannot read your mind. So if you need
Mm,
something from me, you need to tell me. And vice versa. If I need something from you, I'm going to tell you. I don't want to
yeah.
have, again, the waste of time you trying to figure out what Paulette needs or what Paulette's feeling like and all that. No, I just tell you. And that way you know what I need, you know what's happening, you know how I'm feeling, you know what's going on. And then likewise, you tell me what you need so I know what to deliver or give to you. So the
Yeah.
communication part is also huge when you want to be successful in any part of your life, especially if you're a solopreneur
Say that
and you have a
again.
family. I mean, like, you have to share. Like, hubby knows this is going to be a late night for me because I tell him, I said, there aren't any minions in my office working if I'm sleeping. I mean, I know you want me to come to bed at a reasonable time, and I do too. But if I'm not in this room, in this office, nothing's happening. So I have to schedule emails and do all my
Yeah.
scheduled posts. I will do that between like midnight and 2 a.m. And then I'll go to bed. But I can sleep until 8 or 7 or 9 because it's happening without me standing here or sitting here.
Yeah.
But in that moment, he's like, are you coming to bed? I'm like, I really want to. You know I do, but I can't, because if I'm not working, then nothing's happening for my business.
So it's, I think one of the biggest things that I'm hearing, and family, hopefully you kind of hearing this too, is discipline.
Yes, absolutely.
Because one thing that I heard someone say this, and it was like almost like a smack in my face. Because I'm be honest, Dr. I'm not as productive as you. I don't that
It's okay.
now the Sunday thing. Sunday is my soul care Sunday. That's why I call it that.
I love it.
So soul care Sunday, I kind of replenish my soul, and it's my time to get my week going. But one thing I had to find out, or I had to realize, is that I needed to do that daily. Because there was moments throughout the week that I wasn't productive.
Yeah.
Because things would come and I'll get distracted, and I would forget about what do I need to do today.
Yeah.
What do I need to do today? So when it comes to as you mentioned, of being more productive and family, hopefully, the main thing we have to truly continue to practice is our discipline. Because you may say, well, I'm not that productive, I'm not this, I'm not this. Well, you can get that way, know. You can get and really figure out what works for you.
Exactly.
What works for Dr. Evans may not work for me, because 2 o'clock doing an email, no, that ain't gonna work for me. But that works for you, right?
Exactly.
Figuring out what works for you. But discipline is what I'm hearing, because you can be motivated as much as you want. Motivation will only get you but so far. But so far. It is the discipline, the day in and day out, being committed to the process. And we haven't even spoke of the process. So when you think about process and add additional process solutions and systems, one thing that definitely has helped me is things that we can automate.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it's calendar, little things that we can definitely do that can really help us to be more productive, right? So when you think about maybe systems and processes, how do you, or in what ways do you coach your clients to utilize systems, or what are some systems that you use to help you to be more productive? Let's start.
I am all about, between Microsoft and Google, those are my two. I do use them for everything. And I'm an Android user and PC, not Mac, so everything kind of syncs. So that is very, very helpful, like extremely helpful. And again, I put everything in the calendar. I put reminders. I put times on things. When I schedule something, I give myself the time to get there, so I don't book things too closely. But I also, in terms of automation, I do schedule emails. I schedule text messages, like all of that. Because again, if it's 1:30, 2 a.m. and I'm trying to wind down, but I know I have these things on my mind, I go ahead and set up the email to send at 9 a.m. that morning to that person, so I can just dump it and clear my brain so I can go to sleep. Same thing with a text message. If I need to quickly check on somebody because I talked to them last week and they weren't in a good place, then I will schedule that text message. Because some people, and this is my other thing, my phone is on do not disturb from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. every day, even Saturday and Sunday. every day. Because in that time frame, I don't want to be bothered. If I choose to be bothered, that's a different thing. But the phone will go to sleep and no calls come through, no text messages, nothing. Some people don't do that. So if I send you a text at 2 a.m. because I'm still awake and you don't have do not disturb on, then I may wake you up, and I don't want to do that. So I learned to schedule them to deliver at a normal time, like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I try to utilize technology to my benefit and take advantage of all the advances. I mean, the scheduling text message, scheduling email. These are things that we never even thought about, years ago. And now you can do those things. So utilize the technology to your benefit whenever you have a chance. Because I can't go to sleep with a busy mind. So I do need to dump some things before I can go to sleep. So that's why, like at 2 o'clock, I'll schedule a text, not send it, but schedule it. Yeah. And I'll schedule some email, and I'll take a look at that calendar one last time before I go to sleep. So next morning I know exactly when I need to be, where I need to be, like at what time. Because then that tells me how long I can sleep. And then I set the alarm and then I go to sleep. So yeah.
That's it's so interesting when you put it in that way of, and I heard it, the saying in this way is, it's not easy but simple. And simple and easy are not the same thing.
Yep, they are different.
They are different.
True.
So as again, Dr. Evans is really providing a lot of gems to us, especially for those, and I'm one of those where I'm still getting organized, because again, just to be full transparency, and this is kind of going through, be kind of providing just where I'm at spiritually, but even with my talk with God, and I'm like, God, I want to I want to do more and expand the business, and it's like, well, yeah, get organized. I was like, yeah, but I want, but no, you can't skip that part.
It's true.
You cannot skip that part. And many of us, we want these things, and again, that's for even my thoughts of, hey, the blessing of having multiple incomes and everything like that. Yeah, it's a blessing, but also a burden, because if you was organized with just that one stream of income, and you add some additional to it, some additional streams of income, well, it's going to require you to be even more organized.
Exactly.
And that's the part where, again, everything you're saying is very simple. It's not easy. No, and it's going to take some discipline and some motivation to really get us there. And I'm just curious, Dr. Evans, how do you coach that individual to just like, I can't do that, like they just feel like, well, where do I start? I just it's almost where their mind is so many different places, and they're not able to get there. How do you coach those type of individuals?
I have to start with them, helping them simplify their thinking and the mindset. Like, what is it you want to do? Like that. I mean, and just really, really honing in on that want. Like, what is it you're trying to do? What is you're thinking about doing? And and they can just kind of dump all this information, and I kind of streamline the response back to them to make it sound a little easier to digest. And then figuring out why you think you can't do it or why you haven't done it. Like, what is keeping you from doing that thing? What is keeping you from taking that first step? Because again, at the end of the day, and I do stress this quite a bit, this is impacting you. This is your dream. If you don't want to do any work, then you want to achieve your dream. Yeah. And again, that's on you. If you're okay with that, then you don't need my services. But if you want to achieve that dream, then we're going to have to put in the work. Yeah. And it does start again. I'm a whole other level, but some people need to do one thing at a time, one day at a time. And that's fine. Just get that one thing done today then. And I am cool with that. Now, tomorrow we're going to try to do 2 things. So be ready for that. We can ramp up if we need to. And I'm happy to meet you where you are. I know that it's hard to do a lot of things, but it being hard and you not doing anything won't change anything. Yeah. Yes, we acknowledge it's hard. Okay. Now let's do some things. Let's take some baby steps to get this thing done. Because it's similar to when I tell somebody, or I'm talking to someone about going back to school. I'm like, they're like, oh, it's going to take 3 years. I'm like, okay, the 3 years are going to pass anyway. So do you want to have another degree at the end of 3 years or no? Again, your choice. This impacts you and only you. Paulette has all her degrees. I'm good. I'm just
Oh,
having a conversation with you.
and family, Dr. Evans has some degrees.
Yeah,
We
I have my
haven't even
degree.
got into it.
So, do you want another degree at the end of these 3 years? Because the 3 years are going to pass anyway. Figure out what you want to do in that time frame.
Yeah.
And you can't get the time back.
No,
So
you can't.
again, got to make some hard choices. What do you want to do? And what do you want at the end of those 3 years? And I will help you get there. But you're going to have to put in work.
Are there any, like, one thing I truly love about design thinking is truly is creative problem solving, and it has truly helped me in so many different ways to look at my own business as well as my personal life. You know, when you think about all the different frameworks that you can utilize through design thinking, and as you just mentioned, like far as helping someone really simplify their thinking. And you know, again, providing questions for them to truly answer. But are there any frameworks that you try to leverage to help them kind of move the dial, or to kind of get them into this mindset? Because of course we'll like to be just a switch, but it's not that easy, you know.
No, it is not.
And go ahead.
Yeah, my main framework and methodology I use is Six Sigma. So DMAIC is what I really use. I call it my own thing, but it really is define. So we're going to define your current state, define what's going on, what is happening, what's not working for you. And then the M is measure. We're going to measure your current state. What's the data telling me? What is it that you are doing every day? What are the numbers saying? Then I take A to analyze. I go offline from you and I kind of look through everything I've gathered from you to figure out where the gaps and wastes are. The I is improve. I come back to you with your new future state. This is what you can have. This is what you can be doing and achieving. These are your new processes. And then the C is control. And that's the sustainability of it. I check in with you 30, 60, 90 days to make sure you're still following those processes and those new behaviors. So yeah, the make is what I live by. I approach every situation with that.
Totally. When you talk about efficiency, you definitely DMAIC and Six Sigma is definitely there. When you, as you was just kind of talking about the DMAIC process and measure, I think one of the biggest things that even for myself, like when you think about, and again, family, for those that don't work in these type of industry, we'll try to really streamline it and make it make sense. But KPIs, you know, key performance indicators.
Yes.
In which is just, and when you think about it, family, it's just putting these indicators out there to measure how you're progressing.
Exactly.
You know, it's how you're progressing. And when think about measure, that was something I had to really overcome, because even in what I have done through my entrepreneurial aspiration, is I found myself in the chaos because I wasn't measuring. I wasn't measuring what success looks like. I didn't have any KPIs and it's simple. Like, hey, how many episodes you want to get done?
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
like different things to measure. What are you progressing towards? Are you not? Right. So when you think about like measuring, and I hear oftentimes we use a lot in my areas, like measure what matters.
Yes.
How do you get people to understand around measuring, like what certain things that we may not even think about that we can measure, you know? And again, there's a lot of things we're thinking about analytics and whether it's Instagram or whatever the case may can be, but what certain things that we can do to measure, you know, our best practices when it comes to measuring.
Yeah. So measuring is, again, literally putting the numbers behind everything, and numbers matter. It's like having a goal without a number in it. I mean, that it's just, you can't measure it. You can't measure performance against it. So what's the point? So again, it's just a waste. That's waste. So again, if you have a problem getting, I'll say, use example, if you have a problem getting out of the house on time every morning, then what you need to do is start that stop clock as soon as you step out of bed, and then stop it when you're walking out the door. And if you need to be getting ready in an hour and that clock is telling you an hour, 40 minutes, then you are wasting some time in there. That's the first measure. So
Very
again, it depends
simple.
on
Like that is
depends on what you want
very
to do
simple.
accomplish. Yeah, what is it
Yeah.
you're working toward? What do you need to improve? Figure out the numbers behind whatever that is you need to improve. And again, it is not complicated. It really isn't. It's very simple. You just got to do the work. And again, utilize the tools. Every smartphone has a stopwatch feature. I mean, so you can measure that real quick. And that's endless scrolling on Facebook is probably 35 of those 40 minutes you wasted. For the record.
Come on.
I don't even know you, but whoever's listening, you wonder, think about that. Just
think
saying.
about that. Think about that. You early in the morning.
Just scrolling away. Then all of a sudden. So yeah, that's that other designated time. Facebook scrolling, you can put that in the calendar. I'm gonna do that from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Uninterrupted. If that's your thing, then you make time for it. But don't let Facebook get you fired because Facebook not gonna hire you. Okay, and you still need your money. So yeah,
that's the part where people, and again, family, I want you to truly understand. If that's the thing, if that's what you want to do, put that time in.
Schedule it in there. There's nothing wrong with it.
One thing that with my Soul Care Sundays, and thank you for my lovely wife for again knowing that that's my protected time and really helping me, really helping me to protect it and understand it. Like if that's your thing, put it in.
Just
schedule it. 6 o'clock on Sunday is Soul Care Sunday.
Yes.
All right. We're gonna put some R&B song music on, some Anita Baker on, I may even have a glass of wine or so.
That's
and we're gonna start to relax.
Exactly.
Start to just wind down and get ready for the week.
That's right.
So if that's your thing, like, hey, I like to be on Instagram, I like to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
Schedule it.
Yep. 6 o'clock on Sunday won't get you fired. 9 o'clock on Monday may get you fired. So you probably don't want to do that. Just saying. Don't make any poor choices that are going to negatively impact your money. Period. That's it.
Don't make any poor choices that are going to negatively impact your money. Like that almost need to be on the t-shirt.
Don't do it. You don't want it.
No, you don't want that. That is so I mean, again, we think about the measuring, and I love the I'll even say easy example that you gave around, hey, if you're dealing with being late, and fam, you know who you are. I don't care what time it is. You can't never be on time.
Nope.
I don't know what it is. You can never be on time, but hey, you can start measuring.
Exactly.
Is it waste? And let's talk about like waste, because that's something I know it from the lens of like lean, of different waste that we can look at. But when we're talking about waste, how would you explain that to the audience?
So waste in terms of your time and productivity is anything that is not positively getting you to your goal. Like it's not playing a positive role in you reaching that goal. That's waste. That's waste. And again, for me, it's negative ROI. It's not getting you where you need to be. So it is waste. And the second step to that, again, that timing in the morning, if you want to get real granular with it, then you have that stopwatch going, and then you just write down everything you do. Like as you start something, brush my teeth or watch TV, watch the news, make coffee, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to that hour, 40 minutes later on, you're like, okay, so this I can do, like the coffee machine, I can manually, or I can automate that by doing it the night before and have it make the coffee. Like, why am I spending 10 minutes doing that when on Sunday night I can go ahead and schedule? Again, that's that automation. So when you go back and look at what you did in that hour and 40 minutes, you can start pulling away some things that are waste in that moment that you can kind of handle in advance. So in that moment, you don't have to do anything. And that'll start cutting down that extra 40 minutes. And before you know it, you are literally getting up and out the door in an hour like you want to. That's your goal.
Exactly. When I was going to the office every day, in which I don't do that now, thank God. But when I do, it's like, to your point of finding those little things to become more efficient, because the coffee was definitely one of them where it took me, and I started thinking like, man, because I like to have my coffee in the morning
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
drive into work, you know.
Mhm.
But the preparation of it, putting water in the cup, all these things took so
Yeah.
long, you know. I
Mhm.
was like, well, let me do it the night before.
Yep,
Let me start
exactly.
doing the night before, as well as let me go back to the old school when I was in school. How about picking out your clothes the night before?
Yep. Get everything done beforehand as much as you
You know,
can. Do in advance.
doing
Especially
the
again, if you know you have some challenges in the morning getting it together, do everything you can that night before.
night, those simple things, and as we kind
Mhm.
of just give you some best practice, right? As we kind
Yeah,
of talk through these things, if you struggle with X, right? When you start
exactly.
measuring, when you start taking note and documenting, well, how long is it
Mhm.
truly taking me to do this? You know, you're
Exactly.
actually making you're creating a process improvement.
Yes, you
You
are.
know,
Yeah.
you're creating a process of improvement, so it doesn't have to be this grandiose type of
No.
thing that we see or we hear sometimes when people are talking this type of lingo with
Yeah,
different words as relates to process improvement. It's like, what do you do every day?
exactly. Because
What
everybody
do you
has a
do
process, multiple
everything
processes.
has a process.
Yeah. So you know what you have lots to work on when you really think about it. So it's
Hmm.
again, it's a matter of whether you want to streamline that process or do you want to, cut 5 minutes off of this process or whatever it is you think you need to do. That's your
Hmm.
goal. You figure out how to measure so you can meet that goal.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. This is definitely been good. Again, we're speaking with Dr. Evans. She is the CEO and founder of Evans Efficiency Experts.
Yes.
I really like your passion. Again, passion is helping organization, entrepreneurs, and or individuals function in a
Mm,
space of productivity and efficiency. And I love this last piece. Everyone deserves that level of peace.
yes. Oh my
Everyone
goodness.
deserves that level of peace. And Dr. Evans, if you were talking to someone that was, again, I have a goal to be an entrepreneur. You know, I have a
Mhm.
goal to do my own business, or I have a goal to move up
Yeah.
in corporate America, right? Um,
Mhm.
like when it comes to being productive and efficient, what would you tell that person? What's maybe like two or three
Yeah.
things you would just say, hey, here's some best practices I want to make sure you are aware of as you go
Mhm.
on to that or as you pursue that endeavor.
Yep. So first thing is the what. What is it you want? Really,
Hmm.
really sit in your space, sit within yourself and figure out what it
Hmm.
is you truly want. Not what society wants you to have or wants you to want, what
Say
your
that
family
again.
wants you to want. What is it you really, truly want? What's your
Hmm.
passion? What drives you? What makes you happy? And then the why. Whatever that what is, why? Why is that the thing you love? What is it that how's it fueling you? Why is
Yeah.
that your passion?
Hmm.
And then those two things, once you figure those two things out, then understand that your happiness and your joy is relative to you. Having it all is relative to the
Yeah.
individual. You
Yeah.
don't need to be measured or compared to anybody else. You don't need to look
Hmm.
at anybody else and say, well, he or she has that, so I want that, and I should have that by now. No, happiness and having it all is relative to the individual. Whatever
Relative
makes
to
you
the
happy and whatever you think is you're having it all, that's having it
individual.
all.
Mhm.
And figure out how to get to having it all and put in
Yeah.
the work to make it happen.
Yeah,
That's it.
totally, totally. One last question, Dr.
Yeah.
Evans, as we again we're this is Happy Hood Podcast, School of Leadership. And
Mhm.
again, family, I hope you have enjoyed a lot of tidbits, a lot of things in which we're gonna have to definitely bring you back on the show.
Yeah.
Um, how would you define leadership?
To me, leadership is something I've always wanted more than management. Leadership is being a person people follow even when they don't have to.
Mm,
Like they don't have to follow me because I'm not your manager. I can't say do what I told you to do.
yeah,
As a leader, people following me makes me extremely happy because that means I'm leading well. So being
yeah,
an effective leader is people choosing to follow you, not because they have to follow you. They choose to follow you.
they choose to follow you. Being productive and efficient.
Yes.
Those
Yes. Yes.
those
Yes.
those are some great leadership qualities. Um,
Mhm.
Dr. Evans, I want to really thank you for coming on the show, really providing your expertise. A lot of different gems here. How can people get in contact with you, or different
Yeah.
ways they
Yep.
can
Yep. Yep. So
follow you?
yeah, my business email, not email address. Well, yeah, email address. I'll start there. Paulette at evansefficiencyexperts.com. And my actual website is evansefficiencyexperts.com. So real simple. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. My handle is at Paulette J. Evans on all three of them.
Right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the
Yes.
show and again providing your expertise. Family, again, we're going to have a lot more information from Dr. Evans. We'll have all the information on the YouTube. So it'll be right down the link below. But hey, family, always remember this, that you were created for greatness. So no matter what life brings you, always remember that you love God, love yourself, love your neighbor. I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray. Till next time, be blessed.